I'm starting up the stream. Should be going right now. Hi everyone, I'm TigerHawk-T3, and today we will be coding Tetris again for the first time in a year or something. I was playing this at a computer that is other than my usual one and didn't happen to have Pygame installed, and I got my code from GitHub and I ran it and it promptly crashed, and I looked at the error message and it said that there was no attribute self.audio. I'm like, that's odd, because I have this whole try to import Pygame, which handles the audio, and then set it from here and handle it in there, and I have if audio. There's no else. So if the import failed, self.audio is never assigned. It doesn't actually work that way. But there's an easy fix. Else self.audio equals none. I also could have just done over here self.audio equals audio. Could have done that too. Actually, that's probably easier, because now it's only one line instead of two. Let's right off the bat make that self.audio. So we only use the global thing once, and also if I wanted, I could have made the Tetris object get the root, and also, actually, why don't I do that? Audio. So we're sending the root object over here, and the audio variable from way up here. Instead of just having our function in here look for it in the local scope and not find it, and then look for it in the global scope and find it, we're just gonna send that along and assign it, and then say basically, if the import succeeded, then we will set various things, either none if one of these files is not there, or we will, do other things. But if it failed, then it will just be none. So audio is off. And we don't bind the toggle or anything because the import failed. And someone with possibly a Greek name in chat that I cannot pronounce says, hey. Hey. So that's our change. We're going to add self.audio equals audio, and we need to change this too. We could have called it something different, because notice here's the same name as this, and yet they are not the same object necessarily. So we have this global object called audio, and then we pass it in. And this one does refer to the one at the top. And then within this function, this audio is referring to this parameter name. And we sent in an argument that just happens to be called the same thing, but we could have called this like A and A or something. But it's audio, and we're just gonna, it's fine. So that's one fix. We didn't strictly need this stuff. It could have just kept referring to the global thing, but it's nicer to not refer to global stuff and pass in everything from one scope to the next, so it doesn't have to keep searching. Oh, Nick. Nick says, I once tried to make my own Tetris, but never came any further than collision. It can take a while to code Tetris. This is part 16, and sometimes I go for like half an hour, 4 hours. Was it 4 hours that I had a Tetris stream? It was either this one or the idle clicker. But yeah, it takes a while to make one that looks and feels crisp. And I like this implementation. It's pretty snappy. So we fixed the audio for when Pygame isn't installed, And now one more thing. I had fixed the audio at this other computer, and then I was playing it, and my score was going up because I kept playing. And then I noticed that when I cleared a row or rows, the next piece would start to spawn before the animation was done. So it was like, can you just give me a second? And the reason it was doing this was because in the spawn, blah 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 blah, rotate, tick, shift, settle, preview, move, guide, spawn. When we spawn a piece, here. So when we settle, meaning when a piece hits the bottom and goes like clonk, it settles. If you recall the early debugging on this, when a piece hit the bottom, I just had the console print out the word clonk. Because it went clonk. Funny. So this if indices means if there's some rows to clear. And if it is, then it's going to do this, which starts animation, etc. And I want it to wait for that animation. So the way I'm going to do that is, here's where we spawn the next piece. Instead of saying after this tick rate, meaning spawn a piece like this fast after the next one has, after the previous one has settled, we're going to say it should be at least this animation time, if there is an animation. But we don't want it to always be that animation time, because it might also be the tick rate might be longer than necessary for the animation. So we don't want it to be faster when you clear a line, because that'd be, clunk, clunk, whoosh, clunk. We don't want it to go too fast. So I already kind of wrote this part. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say 500 is the animation time if we have if there are things to clear and the tick rate is less than 500. Otherwise, just use the tick rate. We might also be able to do something with min, but no. Or max, but this is easy. This is called a ternary operator. I think it might be Python's only ternary operator, because whenever you look up what is Python's ternary operator, you only get this one. And yes, I do still kind of have a cold. It's worse in the mornings. So now it's kind of okay-ish, but I'm still a little under the weather. So here is one operand. Here is another operand. And here is a third operand. Ternary, meaning 3. There are unary operators, meaning things that operate on one operand, like negative or positive with plus and minus, meaning you could have a variable x, and you might want to invert it and do negative x. And that's using a unary operator as with the dash. Or you could have a binary operator, which is pretty common. 2 things, x plus y, a plus m, c raised to the power of n, I don't know. And this is ternary, because there's 3 of them. We could also have another line before this saying if indices and self.tickrate less than 500, colon, then tick equals 500, else tick equals self.tickrate, and then we would put tick in here. But we can just go ahead and one-line that, because why not? I feel like it. So I think I think that is it. So that fixes the audio, and that fixes the spawn too soon after we start clearing a row, because otherwise when it clears something, I want it to wait at least until it finishes clearing it and then put a new piece at the top, because when it's going pretty fast, it's you get the thing there, and then it starts clearing, and then you get another piece falling down. And I'm pretty sure it's just the animation, because we've already, you know, we've already done this stuff. I think clear first changes the field, or the board, yeah. It messes with the board, which is just a few lists. It's basically the internal representation of our Tetris thing. And here, where'd it go? The canvas is the actual visual display thing, and so that gets changed afterward. So it wouldn't actually impact the gameplay itself, I think. I'm pretty sure if a piece fell into the still animating part, it would just like go there. But might mess with the display, I don't know. Because it'd be trying to move a piece into that area visually, and then it would clear that area. So we're just going to say wait for it to clear. You also get a little reprieve when you clear a row as a prize. So if pieces are falling like rain and everything's crazy, you clear something and you get at least a half-second break. So that's always nice. You get a vacation of 500 milliseconds. It's not a very long vacation, but you know. So that is all we changed. We did this, just, you know, for coding style, make it nicer, not have to refer to a global variable. So we just pass it in as an argument, and we save it so that it won't crash if we have an import error, because if the import's exceeded, but we still want to have something for self.audio. So we have this, and and over in settle, we did this. And that is all. And that is 2 bug fixes, plus some style changes that weren't really necessary. Just wanted to fix those, and that's that. And so now, if you don't have Pygame installed, it will run, but without sound, but it won't crash. And if you're moving along in the game, it will at least wait for the clearing animation to finish before it gives you a new piece. And that is all. Quick stream today, but we fixed stuff. I will put this on GitHub, link is in the description. I will do more with the deck, have to implement slicing later. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. You can watch other videos on my channel. And not a lot to do today, but good changes. Good changes. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.